Welcome to the Sailor Noob podcast, where a superfan and a noob talk about the original Sailor Moon episode by episode. I'm your host, Mikan Hana, joined by my co-host.
I'm the co-host, Caliban. I'm also the noob. It's a Minako Can Get It double jam!
Yeah, it is. And we're a couple of magical people ready to Moon Crisis make up this episode. Today we are talking about episode number 141. Koi no Arashi, Minako no Futamata Daisa Kusen in Japanese. Storm of Love, Minako's Grand Two-Timing Plan, the English translation, and the English title, Double Trouble.
I can't fault Double Trouble, but it's no Storm of Love.
Right?
Yeah. Which starts on Fox, I think, this spring. Storm of Love, that's strong.
It's very strong, and it's, I think Double Trouble is really underselling it.
Well, it rhymes.
I know.
Somebody, they hired that guy back from the Deke days, and they're like, the magic's not the same without you. Need you back here. It's like a stitch in time saves something. See, I don't know. We need you back here. And so they're slowly kind of getting back into it, I think.
Yeah, I hope we just don't go back to, like, the blues. Like, at least it's not Double Trouble blues.
We'll know he's fully integrated when it's blues once again. Or maybe those are the times that he was on vacation. You know, he's got to get some time off.
Right.
So
he's like, gosh dang
takes
it, Larry.
2 weeks.
Or
yeah, they're like, I don't know, blues? It's monster blues?
Let's go to lunch. I just figure we stick blues at the end of it again.
Yeah. Like, my kid's sick, so. Look, it's tough. It's tough to work on these shows. Look, I would never disparage these people and their wonderful season of television that they brought us.
I was waiting.
But I know it's tough.
Well, I know it's tough too, but I thought you were going to say it's tough to work and then just stop right there. But no, it is tough to do these shows, absolutely. But I was very excited about this episode, and I'm really excited to talk to you about it today, Cal.
You know what I'm excited about? I'm excited about some words. Listen to these words.
All right.
iTunes. iHeartRadio.
Oh.
Spotify.
Yes.
Google Podcasts. Good Pods.
Oh.
Castbox. Deezer.
Oh, my God.
Podcast Addict. That sounds like a problem. Pod Chaser. Leave him alone. Joe Savan, which sounds like a Star Wars character, but
really
is
does.
a podcast app, I believe, for the Indian subcontinent.
Oh, really?
Yes. We are on all these platforms, and we know that our
Wow.
listeners are out there.
Yes.
And we appreciate them. And if they appreciate us, giving us a rating or a review on those platforms, if it's possible, a lot of them, it's not. There's
That's
a new
true.
thing on Spotify where they've got like comments. I guess you can do comments on episodes. And
Okay.
so, or like we can like set up a comment or ask a question to be answered. I don't know if we're going to do that.
On Spotify?
But if we're, if you are thinking that you appreciated or liked the episode, just, hop on and do that. But yeah, if you haven't left us a rating or review, we'd really appreciate it. And these are outside the iTunes, Google, Spotify sphere.
Right.
I got that right. It's not a spear. So I don't get to them all the time, but we did get a review January 3rd on Castbox.
Oh, my gosh.
From user Ray.
Okay.
Who says, one of my favorite Sailor Moon podcasts. It's also got a lot of interesting facts about life in Japan. So see, that easy, that simple.
Awesome.
We know you're out there, and
Thank
we
you,
appreciate you. Yeah, we appreciate you commenting and letting us know what you like. Hey, if you like Star Wars, and speaking of Star Wars, if you're a fan of Star Wars, the Star Wars Jedi series of games, it's a new series of games. It is, in my opinion, I think, one of the most compelling narratives in the Star Wars universe right now. Maybe that's just because Rise of Skywalker is the last film that I've seen.
That could be.
It is an old
Rey's
school
coming back.
Different Rey. We got a lot of Reys going around here. It's an old school, chips are down, a young Jedi's trying to make it happen tale, and it's told in the course of these games for Xbox, PlayStation, and for PC. Kind of, I guess. It's not working too well on PC, I guess.
Oh, wow.
But I'm not playing it on PC. I'm playing it on PS5. And I do that every weekday at 12 p.m. Central on our Twitch page, twitch.tv/justenoughtrope. It's the Laser Lunch Hour, a video game show that I host, play video games, talk with the fans. So if you are around eating lunch or whatever you're doing, 12 p.m. Central, hop on twitch.tv/justenoughtrope. We also do other streams at other times. We know not everybody can do it in the middle of the day.
Right.
That's just when I get to do it. But stop by. Tell if you like Star Wars. Tell us about your love for Sailor Moon. And be one with the Force.
Cal, would you give us the honor of breaking down this Minako jam?
I will. I'm also recapping an episode of The Office as well. So I'm going to have to move back and forth between these two. But I'll do my best. We begin in the Juban shopping district where we see huge banners declaring summer bargain sale. All items drastically reduced.
Yes.
Even the 100 yen shop has things down to 15 yen. You would think this would be important. It is not.
No.
At no point does Usagi realize a huge sale is on. She's got other things to worry about. We get an aerial view of the street, and Chibiusa is tearing down the sidewalk with Mamoru in tow. Behind them and gaining is Usagi, and when she reaches them, she pulls on Mamoru from the other direction, saying, "He came here to watch a movie with me." While Chibi says, "No, he's here to go shopping with me." They go, movie shopping, movie shopping, movie shopping. Here are the films that were big in the Japanese box office in 1995.
Okay.
1995, pretty big year for American movies.
Yeah.
Huge year for Japanese cinema.
Okay.
Now, these aren't all in July when this episode is nominally set when it comes out. But in March, you had a Gamera movie.
Okay.
1995's Gamera Guardian of the Universe.
Okay.
Not highbrow enough for you? Also, you had Maborosi.
Okay.
By Hirozaku Koreeda, a movie that I have because I know I'm supposed to watch and I haven't got around to it yet, but it is described as one of the best Japanese movies of all time. It is 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
It is a touching drama. In April, Crayon Shinkan.
Okay.
Unkokusai's Ambition. Huge box office for the kids. Loving that one.
Of course.
In May, Dragon Ball Z Fusion Reborn comes out.
Oh, wow.
The next week, DBZ Wrath of the Dragon comes out. Who's running the DBZ factory?
What? Here's 2 movies
you
for you.
You gotta space these out.
What?
Here's something else that comes out that next week in May. Whisper of the Heart.
Okay.
You
sure.
heard it here first.
Yep.
In August, the live-action Hana Yori Dango movie.
Oh, my God.
In November, Ghost in the Shell. Mamoru Oshii's groundbreaking film that gave rise to The Matrix and God knows what else, that terrible ScarJo movie, comes out that November. In December, you already know what it is. You already know what it is.
Do I?
Sailor Moon, Supers, the movie. The last theatrically released movie comes out in December, as well as Godzilla vs. Destroya, not to be outdone by Gamera. Memories, very famous anime film. It's an anthology film with 3 different kind of short, well, they're actually really long, animes in it by Koji Morimoto, Tensei Okamura, and Katsuhiro Otomo.
Yes.
Huge.
Yes.
And a lot of Pinku films, too. A lot of Pinku films.
Okay. Well,
What's
we
going on
love
in
a
Japan?
Pinku film, I guess.
I mean, in America, we had like I'm Madonna, I want to see my boobs. Like, we had like...
Yeah.
I wasn't on this show, but we were complaining about the death of the erotic thriller. Japan, full steam ahead. Oh, no, it's not even steam. Full magnets ahead. That train kept going. So flip a coin or a yen piece as to what they're actually going to see.
Yeah, really. I mean, Whispers of the Heart, I guess I didn't say this, but it's a Ghibli film. It's a really sweet one. I really like that
Something
one.
Sandra Bullock was probably playing.
Oh, okay. All right.
That or, Body of Evidence with Madonna. I don't know. Batman Forever. You think Tuxedo Mask likes Batman and he was offended by Batman Forever? Or is he like, this guy's doing it right? I can't wait to see more of this.
Well,
this Joel Schumacher guy.
Yeah.
Joel Schumacher does the Tuxedo Mask movie.
Oh, then Tuxedo Mask would have like nipples through his tux.
Yeah.
And
a lot of homoerotic tension between him and Motoki.
I mean, that might be there, but the nipples through the tux, that's what I have to object to. Okay? That's all I'm saying.
His coat or his cape would come down, but then it would, around his butt, it would just
Oh
grab
my
his
God,
butt.
it would.
But then it would still
just
be flowing
suction up
by
to
his
butt.
feet. for
Yeah,
some
right.
reason. He'd have a cape wedgie.
Oh, God.
Tuxedo wedgie.
Is
Thanks for helping us.
Yeah, thank you.
Anyway, Chibi and Usagi continue screaming at each other, but Mamoru is looking quizzically across the street where he sees something strange. Is that Minako walking with a handsome man? And I'll tell you right now, the man has glasses and spiky pink hair, so we know where this is going.
Yeah.
Usagi says, "Jeez, Minako, I've got to tell the other girls." And she does. At Fruit Parlor Crown, the girls, minus Minako, are dishing about Mina's new boyfriend over melon sodas. Ray says, "I was hoping that I wouldn't fall behind her at least." "It's okay, Ray. Your secret is safe with us." Methinks the Miko doth protest too much.
Possibly.
I mean, can you blame her? These goofballs are the only girls that she knows. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's not a lot of options. There's Makoto.
Yeah.
But she's still stuck on her old senpai.
Yeah.
I want to port the Mako Ray ship in from the live action PGSM.
Okay.
And when Ray says this, Mako's in the background,
Yes.
giving her an interpretable look. A look that could be interpreted. And I'm choosing to do that. Luna says, "It's healthier to have a boyfriend than none." It's a weird bit of advice, magical talking cat.
Yeah.
I mean, you've essentially abdicated your role as mentor to these girls at this point, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Then we cut back to Ray and Moko blowing bubbles in their sodas, and they say, and listen to these words, "We already know that we're not healthy." Mako Ray confirmed. Hashtag. I think we know what that means. Ami says, "That's not exactly what she meant." We know what she meant.
Oh my God.
And Artemis sighs at this. "Sorry, pal. Everybody's horny. Must be a Minako episode." Artie says, "What did this guy look like?" And Chibi says, "He was tall and seemed kind." Chibi's a bad judge of character.
Yeah, we know this.
We know this. She doesn't say that he had awesome pink hair, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Have some self-respect, Chibi.
You have awesome
You
pink
don't
hair.
see another human being with pink hair and go, "Wait a minute." Also interesting that she doesn't say that he looks like he wanted mommy's pickles. So they've seen this guy before. So Clark Kent rule, he's got glasses on. Clark Kent rules are in effect.
Yes.
They don't recognize that he's Hawkeye. Fun fact, if you Google mommy's pickles, we're like the 6th result on Google. So welcome, weirdos. This is a judgment-free zone.
Oh my God.
Diana says, "Wasn't his hair long and didn't he look a little on the bad side?" Who's bad? Yow!
Oh my God. What is that from?
Shamon!
I don't know that.
Michael Jackson, bad.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Okay, now I'm embarrassed.
All right. Tell you once again, who's bad? Usagi says, "No, he seemed serious." Who's serious? Just then, Usagi looks out the window, and there's Minako. She's talking to a guy on a motorcycle. Minako, no!
What
No!
are you doing?
I knew this day would come. She was never really ours. She never was, though. So fast. They grow up so fast. Usagi says, "That's not the guy from the other day." And everybody goes, and Chibi says, "He's handsome too."
Thanks, Chibi.
And he's tried to kill us like 10 times.
I know.
To be fair, he has sunglasses on, so Clark Kent rules are in effect. Artemis says, "Just as I thought." Wait, he suspected this? Come on, cats.
I know.
You're like the chaperones for these girls. You're the catperons for these girls. If Ava Perone had a cat, it'd be Cat Perone. We want fish eggs, not fertilized eggs.
Oh my God.
Do your job.
Whoa. Do you think he saw her with 2 different guys and he's just confirming that this is still happening?
Luna's in the episode sometimes. And Usagi does a lot of things without her.
Yes.
We know if it's important to the plot of the episode where, yeah, we're just not vibing right now, then maybe, or like he's helping Luna fight like an army of cats or something like that, then they're apart. But otherwise, I think they spend a lot of time together.
I think so too.
Frozen in my head is that image of her in the rocking chair and like knitting.
Oh,
and then he's there too. And it's just like, this is it. This is the future.
Oh, no.
15 years old. Old maid. But,
Aw.
yeah, he probably has, like, maybe she hasn't been around. He's like, something's going on. She's around twice as little as she should be. That's the problem. Mina blows a kiss to the biker as he peels away, and she walks into Crown like, "Hi, guys." And Chibi says, "Who is that?" And Minako says, "Oh, Mr. Torajima? He's a roadie, but he wants to be a rock musician." She says, "He flirted with me at a club." And her eyes get really big, and she says, "It's a crime to be so beautiful."
Oh my god, I just died.
Don't hate me because I'm beautiful.
And the girls are like, "Yeah, that's a misdemeanor at best, I think." Usagi says, "Well, who were you with the other day?" And Mina says, "Oh, that was Mr. Takano. He goes to art college."
I know.
I'm not going to make fun of art college.
No.
I have friends that go to art college.
I can't make fun
He
of
goes to
art college.
He's an artist. It's cool.
I was a theater major. I can't make fun of art college.
Yeah, but you went... Yeah, all right. Don't help me. Don't set me up to make fun of art college. Listeners, if you went to art college, I have a lot of artist friends. Nominally, I'm an artist myself. It's fine. It's just, there's a lot of yarn sculptures on fences around where we used to live. So, I mean, you're seeing these people expressing themselves in a lot of ways. I didn't see any yarn sculptures on his bike.
Oh my God.
She says in a low voice, "You bring out my desire for creation." And she strikes a pose and she says, "He asked me to model for his art. Maybe it's nude modeling." It's a girl.
Minako, no.
Mika, our little girl. Minako's eyes get big again and she says, "It's such a crime to be so beautiful." A little translation rewind on this bit. In the Viz dub, it says, "Beauty is not a sin."
No.
Hate the sinner, not the sin. Wait a minute. Wait, that's backwards. The girls cannot believe this, and Ray seems very dismayed. Interesting. Ami is blue screening, though that might be her trying to understand nude modeling. And Luna is like, "Isn't that two-timing?" Hey, Minako's got a lot of love to give. Senshi of love. It's in the job description.
It is.
Minako says, "Takano-san is kind and looks out for me, and Mr. Torajima is handsome, and I'm head over heels. I really can't have it all. No comeuppance!"
You hear me? No comeuppance!
Artemis says she's not really listening. He's going to be slipping progesterone into her onigiri.
Oh my God.
Mina says, "Spring has finally come for me."
I know. It's like, this is how she becomes the Joker. And she
as this
I just,
or Harley
wow.
Quinn.
Yeah, Harley Quinn.
As this continues, Diana says, "Miss Usagi, what do two-timing mean?" And Usagi says, "Oh, well, when a woman likes a man and another man." And Artie says, "Usagi! Not in front of the Ildren Che." Minako yells, "Spring at age 15!
No comeuppance! We'll be right back.
In the neon bar, we see Hawk's Eye and Tiger's Eye in their cool dude outfits. And
Yes.
Hawk says, "Well, if it isn't Tiger's Eye, getting any?" Incidentally, Getting Any was the title of a 1995 Japanese movie written and directed by Beat Takeshi, where he plays a loser who dreams about being cool and having a lot of women, Walter Mitty style.
Wow.
The Japanese title is Mina Yateru Ka, which is literally, "Is everyone doing it?"
Oh my God.
And yaru is an informal word meaning to do, which has become slang for sex.
Okay.
Yaru, I hardly know you. And like Tiger and Hawk have to be like, "This is the easiest job we've ever had. This girl's crazy." You know what I mean? Like you understand their insane confidence as this show goes
They're
on. Just
both
nothing
super
against my girl.
confident.
They're both like in the bag. Don't even worry about it.
Well, I mean, it's absolutely true though, because it's like Minako. I feel so bad. It's like, is she starved for attention, or does she just love
Hey,
attention?
Minako is in love with love.
I think she is in love with love, actually.
Tiger transforms back into his circus togs. The first not assault-related change that we've seen,
Yeah,
I think.
I think so.
So they can do it. They can do it when they're not yaru.
Whoa.
He says, "It's going well." You know, she puts up a good front. She really loves knitting. But I'm going to close the deal by tomorrow. Hawk also transforms and says, "I can nail that girl in one day. Today. But I like to save the fun for later." Just locker room talk,
Oh
neon
my
bar
God.
talk, guys being dudes. Tiger says, "Pretty lame excuse, birdhead." Yeah, that'll catch on. And Hawk says, you're one to talk, tasteless tiger pants. Gentlemen, you're just as Kami-sama made you.
Tasteless tiger pants, WTF, I love it. That needs to be on a shirt.
Our two dudes look like they're going to come to blows. It's not that kind of show. But Fisheye says, please, you shouldn't fight over me. And they're like, what? We're not fighting over you. Tiger says, I'll prove that I'm a warrior several times better than you. It's very specific. And Hawk says, yeah, unless the Sailor Senshi arrive. And Tiger says, oh yeah, good point. Same for you. You know what? Let's get this done right now. Loser leaves the neon bar for good match. And Hawk says, well, gather up your white wine spritzers because you're out of here. Fish says, please, there's plenty of me to go around. But they're like, shut up. This is between a man and a man. Which is like, all right, already we just had the last episode.
I know.
But okay. Who can get the target faster? The target assigned by Master Zirconia. That target. That girl. And they both pointed a picture of Minako, and Fish is like, her?
I know.
We cut to her picking out an outfit for her date, or dates, and Artemis says, ugh, it's a bad taste. Petty, Artie. Very petty. It's below you. Mina says, did you say something? And Artie says, I'm saying that we don't know anything about the enemy or about Pegasus. I mean, it's not like you can't go on dates, but you could at least, yep, this is the outfit. This is the outfit for my Dato. She holds up a blue overall dress. Like, if this is for a college guy, I think you're going to get the wrong kind of college guy. Do you know what I mean? It's cute, but it's a little juniors.
I guess.
At least it's ankle length.
But yeah.
It could be worse. She says, what do you think? And Artie says, yeah, whatever. He starts to walk out of the room. And Minako says, Artemis, don't worry about me. And he turns back and he says, Mina. Minako says, Minako Aino, also known as the goddess of love, will be sure to get a firm grasp on happiness.
Oh my God.
And Artie says, yeah, she doesn't get it. In Chibi's room, she's on the phone with Pegasus, and she says, adults are so strange. They give a 7-year-old a 3-bed, 2-bath walk-up in the city, and they leave him with absolutely no supervision.
I know.
Pegasus, is there such a thing as liking two different people at the same time? And Pegasus says, whoa, I'm a one-jockey kind of horse, but there was this one time at the Preakness with Flicka and Black Beauty.
Oh my God.
Black Beauty is a stallion, by the way. Because we know that Pegasus is bi. That's a lot of pink and purple. I'm just saying.
Oh my God.
Chibi says, if you're tied to your partner with the red string of fate, here we go again, you only fall in love with that person, right? Or is there more than one red string? Good question. I also have some friends who would talk to you about that.
Yeah.
It's a great question. It's a great question to ask Mrs. Sakino.
It is.
But she's at the pachinko parlor, I guess, or somewhere. Don't know where she is.
She just wears her apron everywhere, and she has like the pachinko
They're
balls
like,
in the apron.
It's the MILF again.
Oh my God.
Instead, a secret magic horse says, oh, in order to find that one red string, you need lots of different types of experience. You want to write this one? What do you got?
Where is he going with this?
I was thinking, like the side saddle, endurance, raining. Oh, that's fun.
Oh, okay.
Cutting. Yikes.
Oh my gosh. Let's see.
And of course, Western pleasure.
Whoa, what? I was going to say like jumping, galloping, trotting, but I don't know if those work as well.
Yeah, before you canter, you gotta trot.
Right. Of course, we all know this. We know this.
There's the shirt right there.
Before you canter, you have to trot. I love it.
Chibi is frustrated and she says, experience, huh? Adults sure have it rough. Don't say that, Chibi. Hold on to your youth.
Stay as long as you can. For the love of God, cherish it.
Thank God that's done. In the city, Mina looks pretty and she's on her way to her date. She's got some nice red wedges on, too. Mm-hmm. She's 15 minutes late for her very important date, but she says it's better if she's a little bit late. Make him wait for it. You know what I mean? Behind her, we see Artemis following at a distance at the clock monument. Mm-hmm. Remember this one?
Yes.
Now, this looks like the one where they fought Oniwa Bandana, but It can't be. There's no fountain at the base of it. Wasn't there a fountain there?
I feel like there was.
Are there a lot of clocks in Japan?
Yeah, I think a lot of.
Okay.
Well,
at a clock monument, I guess.
I think there are a lot of like parks that have clocks and stuff in them. Yeah. So this could be a real place. I'm not sure.
Why so time?
Because it's so important to be on time
Yeah,
all the time. And so Minako not doing so great.
Yeah, well, this was intentional. She did this on purpose. But at the clock monument, Hawk's Eye awaits. And Mina says, Takano-san! But stops short when she sees, holding up the other side of the monument, Biker Action Tiger's Eye.
Like he's a Ken doll. Biker Action Tiger's Eye.
I'd like to see Ken in those tiger pants. Are you telling me that 9 minutes into this thing, we've got a classic sitcom trope unfolding?
Yes.
Is she doing a Mrs. Doubtfire?
She is.
Write it down for just enough trope.
Oh, Mrs.
Doing a Mrs. Doubtfire. Can we give out 6 roses? That's what I'm asking.
Asking for a friend.
Incidentally, Mrs. Doubtfire, released in 1993, was #1 at the Japanese box office for 9 weeks.
9 times.
Yes. The
Oh my
Japanese
God.
title was Misesu Doubto, or Mrs. Doubt. Nice way to cut to the chase, Japan.
Mrs. Doubt.
I mean, it's in the thing, but I guess American audiences are like, fire, just put something on the end.
Oh, why would it just be Doubt?
Mrs. Doubterton, too long. Miss Doubtfire, there you go.
Yeah.
Japanese are like, I got one character, bam, Mrs. Doubt.
We're done.
This dude looks like a lady. That's one character in Japanese. Hawkeye looks to see who called him, but Minako has already ducked behind a wall, saying to herself, I promised Mr. Torajima that I would see him today as well. Oh, I'm in trouble. Across the street, Artemis thinks, that's what I was trying to tell you. Artie hears his name spoken, and he turns around to see Chibiusa. She says, so you're worried after all. Ancient feline secret, huh? He says, no, but Luna is there too. And she says, why can't he just admit it? And Artie says, you. So that means, and from behind a building, the entire squad plus Diana poke their heads out.
I know.
And Usagi says, yo. Mina sneaks her way into the park and hides behind a tree, spying on Tiger, while all of her friends in the world spy on her from a nearby hedge. Artie says, why are you guys here? And Diana says, they said if I came, I could see something called two-timing. And zoop, she gets pulled back into the hedge. Like Homer Simpson. Usagi says, no, we're all worried. We cut to the other side, the reverse shot, and it's everybody's head stuck into the hedge, and Diana's just flailing wildly in Usagi's crib.
Oh, I thought it was Mako who was holding her, but yeah, it's...
Mako is in her yellow stirrup pants.
Oh.
And I believe it's Usagi, because Usagi is kneeling down. Her head is lowest. I did this. I looked at the girls' butts. I didn't look at their butts like I looked at their butts, but I was like, oh, the girls' butts are sticking out. But that's like, wait a minute.
Okay.
And without remembering who was on the other side, I was like, that's Ray. Ray wears that dress with the scalloped bottom and her high heels.
Right.
I don't know what Usagi's wearing, so that's got to be her. That's 11 feet tall. That's Mako. So Ami's on the left.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I got it wrong.
You come at the king, you best not miss.
All right.
Minako says to herself, okay. Takano and Torajima, 2 hot guys waiting for me. I can't break my promise to date them. And as she runs towards the clock monument, Artie says, she finally sold her soul to the devil. Hey, beauty is not a sin. Minako runs up to Tiger's Eye and says, hey, I'm thirsty now that I ran here. And he says, do you want to go for some tea? But Mina says, it's such a nice day. I want to drink something outside, okay? And he says, all right, I'll go buy you something. And as he walks off, she says, thank you. Thanks. And as we see her creeping along the monument towards the other side where Hawk's Eye is, Tiger says, too bad, Hawk's Eye, but this is a done deal. So do the Amazon guys have a per diem for this stuff? Is this
Like
is
a
this
certain
juice
amount they get
gonna
paid
come out of
every
his own
day?
pocket? Also, why does he have money? It Do they cast a spell?
I don't know.
Oh, they're getting it from the gate, right?
Right.
Yeah, people coming in to see the circus.
That's right.
I'm gonna dip into the kitty. No. Funny joke, but actual money. I don't know where they get the money from.
Is Zirconia funding this because this was one of her picks?
That's why she's so mad.
Yeah.
She's like, you guys, the kitty's down to almost zero.
I give you money for costumes and disguises.
Only
and
walking dates from now on.
Yeah, right.
You try to get some of those pickles, we can sell them to the weirdos. Minako says, Takano-san, I'm sorry I'm late. Hey, how about a movie? We could see one of the 2 slam dunk films that came out that year.
Yeah, I know.
Two slam dunk
2
films
slam
came
dunk?
out.
Oh my gosh.
It's like slam dunk. Well, that's a slam dunk. And slam dunk, 3-pointer, bonsai.
Oh my god.
She tears off down the street with Hawk in tow, saying, hurry, we'll miss the previews. They go to a theater that's playing Gadzulla.
Yes.
That's Gadzulla.
Mm-hmm.
Shh! You want to get sued?
Inside, a trailer is playing, and we hear a voice say, what is the objective of the hero? Is this violence love? Men love and women toy around. The wrath of men explodes. This summer, coming to a theater near you. Nice work, show.
I know.
Meta trailers. Who knew?
I know.
Hawk says, I'm not good with dark places. Isn't neon bars? I guess it's lit with neon. How bright are those neon lights? Has he been able to see any of these girls' pictures? I guess that's my question. He's always like, that's real. I'll go. How do you know? You can't see anything. Apparently, he can't see in the dark. He starts walking. He's a hawk. He can't see in the dark. He starts walking down the aisle, and a hand takes his, and he says, yes, to hold hands in a theater is the most basic of date tactics. Outside the theater, Minako emerges and zips back to the park to meet Tiger's Eye. From their hedge, the girls see Mina return, and Tiger says, where did you go? Mina says, I had to go to the bathroom. He hands her a drink. Room for you now, my friend. And from the squad's hiding place, Diana says, it looks like two-timing uses a lot of energy. This is what you wanted, people.
I know.
This is what you wanted. Artie says, she'll screw it up soon. And Ray says, Minako, at times like this, sure is powerful. Oh, Raynako's on the board. We got a winner. Back in the movie, Gadzulla is burninating the countryside, and Hawk thinks, it's time to make my move. And he raises Minako's hand to his lips. But it's not Minako's.
Nope.
It's an old lady.
Yep.
And as the film ends, Hawk stands up and screams, no! Sensing, or hearing this perhaps, Minako checks her watch and says, I gotta make a call. Can you wait here? And she runs off again. Outside the theater, Hawk is nauseated at the idea of an old lady. Point of continuity here, isn't the fruit that's closest to rotting, ... Hawk, my friend?
Yeah, but apparently...
I guess she was a rotten one.
Yeah, apparently that's what he's...
This fruit?
Yeah.
No, this ain't a plum, this is a raisin.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
She's
hey,
past what he
whatever
likes,
you're into.
Apparently.
Mina runs up and he says, where were you? And she says, I was there the whole time. A great film. I got to go to the bathroom. And she runs off.
It's like the only excuse she can think of.
We see a single frame. This is the Mrs. Doubtfire montage.
Uh-huh.
Okay, we can't go through a whole. We don't have Pierce Brosnan and Robert McCroskey, that storied character actor.
I don't remember.
We can only do a single frame of her eating ice cream with Tiger, and then you see her running across the street, and she's in a bookstore with Hawk, and then she's running back across the street. And that's kind of it.
Yeah.
A little weak on the montage. I would have wanted a little more. Them playing doing karaoke or something like that.
Right.
He's pushing her down the hill in a shopping cart. They're knocking over a konbini. They're hanging from the top of Tokyo Tower. There's police helicopters.
Oh yeah,
just these
like
single
that.
frames.
Right.
Spice it up a little bit. Mm-hmm. But instead, we get her running back and forth 6 or 7 times until she gets slower and slower, and then she's like, and she just collapses on the street. In a park, she's gasping for breath, and she says, I can't take this. And a voice says, isn't that enough? She turns around, and it's Artie and the squad. Chibi, her arms folded. This is serious, Chibi. She says, it's not good to go out with people and tell them lies. That's what Tinder is for. Chibi has an idea for something called an app. It's going to take a little while to develop, but it's going to be really big in the future. Usagi says, it's better to tell the truth. And Mina says, okay, I'll tell the truth. She's going to tell the truth to 2 circus murderers, but her heart's in the right place.
Right.
Mina says, they say those who chase rabbits will find 61 prefectures. Which is not right.
No.
What is right? I got no idea. As far as this goes, I can only think you're going to chase the rabbit, and maybe you're chasing it through every prefecture in Japan. It's going to take you a long time. Mm-hmm. I know there's only 47 prefectures in Japan.
Right.
Currently, but what if there was more before? I don't know the historical number of prefectures in Japan.
I mean...
Some of them were eliminated during the Sengoku period. Who can say? But the point of it is that we had to translation rewind this one. Mm-hmm. And what they say in the Viz sub is, like they say, she who chases 2 hares gets both or more. Which is wrong.
I mean, it sounds
That's
wrong.
actually a Russian proverb that says, she who chases 2 hares gets none, right? It's like, don't be greedy. It's a dog with a bone type thing.
Yeah, it makes sense.
The other one, it's like a wild goose chase or something. And honestly, we don't know. If you know what she meant to say, Japanese language speakers, join the Discord, link in the show notes. Tell us what she was supposed to say. But my point, and the reason that I'm going to keep listening to these or reading these crappy fan subs instead of the Viz sub, is that they changed the point of it in making it more, quote unquote, understandable. Because ours ostensibly is tied to the whole thing. Now we could go back with the YouTube Viz videos and go back to every Minako moment that we had and see what they replaced it with. But it wouldn't be the original, whatever's happening, the language corruption or her getting the wrong character or, knowing English from reading it maybe, but not speaking it or something like that.
Right.
And they just went, oh, we'll just pick another proverb. Like a stitch in time saves you nothing. It's like, no, that's not right. It saves you 9.
Right.
So this is more Sailor Newbie to try to figure out what are the 61 prefectures.
What does it mean?
No, she's so deep. She's really deep.
I know. She created more prefectures.
Yes, right. She doesn't even know how many.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
There's 5 houses of parliament.
3 is the correct answer.
Mina says, it's okay. It's okay. I'm a little different than usual today. Crazed look in her eye. I'm off! And she runs away, full of new vigor. In the park, Tiger and Hawk meet across a dusty field. Mr. Kunitachi's on vacation this week. No watering.
Oh.
They both ask, here's a callback.
Yeah.
They both ask, what are you doing here? And Hawk says, don't claim another's woman. And Tiger says, what are you going to do about it? But Minako arrives saying, stop fighting over me. And Tiger says, all right, choose now, Minako. Me. It's me, right? And Hawk says, it's gonna be me. Which of us do you choose? Come on. Minako says, I don't want to lie to my own feelings. I like both of you. This is it. Everything that we have done has led to this.
No.
I'm on cloud 9. It was all worth it to get to here. The boys have had enough, and Tiger says, that's enough. And he cracks his whip. Hawk says, I can't forgive you, a mere human, for 2-timing us. That's an Amazon trio no. They get a dark gray, double-wide Afghan that unfurls and refurls to reveal them both in their circus togs, which means they saw each other naked. Hawk says, Target is so wishy-washy. I mean, this is a push, right? We can both stay at the bar. But Minako says, it can't be. Both of you are fooling me.
I know.
They say, shut up. The Tiger says, stop pretending. And Hawk says, give us a dream. 1, 2, 3, and she's on the double board.
I know.
There's a double board.
Yes.
And her mirror is out. And Hawk says, I'll just take a look. But Tiger's like, no, I'm going to do it. And they proceed to fight over her. But this isn't what she wants. Mm-mm. The squad arrives, and Diana says, so this is 2-timing?
Yeah.
It's like, look, comedy comes in 3s, but it's too late for jokes. Scrappy Mew. Instead of attacking, the girls sit there as Hawk and Tiger both jam their heads into the mirror. I can't watch this.
No, I I can't.
Minako says, my dream is going to crumble away. And this goes on for a while.
Yeah.
Finally, they emerge, and Tiger says, she's just too amazing. And Hawk says, he's not impressed. She's not old enough. Hawk's like, eh.
God.
No, Pegasus. It's just a lot of knitting in there. No, Pegasus. Let's just snuff her. But we hear, hold it right there. The sailor Senshi arrived a while ago and just watched all this happen, I guess.
It seems like
But
it.
now they're speaking up. You villains that used a maiden's heart as a tool for betting, in the name of the moon, we'll punish you. Tiger says, you're here, pumpkins. There it is again.
He keeps calling Usagi, or I should say Sailor Moon and Chibi Moon, pumpkins for some reason. And I don't know why.
Any question?
Yes, several.
Nice.
Hawk says, to me, my lemurs, the acrobatic, shocking seesaw Gitanko. And Tiger says, and Bakonko, which you guys are just making words up at this point. And out of their shadows arise nightmares. They're like the Harlequin girls, but like not Harley Quinn. They look like clown robots. Yeah. There's a small pink one, terrifying, and a larger blue one in a thong. Honestly, very scary as well. She does like this. First of all, she jumps up and like her butt sticking out, and then she does like a front cartwheel flip thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, what is this? Why is this circus robot wearing a thong?
I did not notice she was wearing a thong.
Just have like no underwear on? Why does this robot have underwear on? The blue one throws their seesaw under the girls, and they both leap up and land on the other side of the seesaw. You know what happens now.
Yes, I do.
There's a Chuck Jones-esque pause. And the sailors are like, huh? And they all go flying into the air. The blue one launches the pink one up at the Senshi, and she knocks into them, sending them falling to the ground. Tiger says, my lemur's doing well. But Hawk is like, what? They're my lemurs. While they argue, Artemis sneaks over to Minako and says, are you okay? Tiger says, I'll deal with you after these pumpkins. And Hawk says, fine. On the board, Minako trembles with anger, saying, how dare these guys crush down on my innocence? I cannot forgive them, ever! And she tears herself off of the board! I stood up when this happened. I was marking out like crazy. Artie says, scary. Transform. And she does. Tiger says, okay, finish them off. As the lemurs see their but they're interrupted by, hold it right there. There's one more sailor soldier. Hawk is very upset. He says, come out all at the same time. At the same time. Venus says, whatever, I can't forgive you. Sailor Venus, goddess of love and beauty, gives you a shower of the crescent beam of anger. She fires 1,000,000 magic missiles at them as they flee in terror. The crescent beams also knock the lemurs down because we gotta get out of here. Time's short. Sailor Moon and Chibi tell themselves, now, Sailor-usses. And Chibi raises her carillon and with a twinkle yell, she summons Pegasus. Pegasus says, there's a lot happening in this episode, so I'll be back to creep you out next week. Hi-yo me! Sailor Moon gives us the MGM, and the lemurs stage out for the last time. Hawk and Tiger leap away through rings of feather and fire, respectively, as Venus tells her friends, nothing. She squeezes her eyes shut and claps her hands together in a gesture of repentance. And she peeks out of one eye to see if it's working.
I know!
No comeuppance! And her friends merely laugh.
The important thing is, I didn't get my comeuppance, and I never will.
Back in the neon bar, Hawk slams his drink down and says, I was this close. But Tiger says, we'll call it a draw. And Hawk agrees. Fisheye says, wait, I thought both of you had to leave if it was a draw. They're like, grrr. She's like, just kidding. Later on a bridge, Minako looks out at the Tokyo nightscape. Artemis arrives to tell her everyone is waiting, but she says thoughtfully, Artemis, I'm sorry I let myself be flung around by those guys. I feel like a fool. I think flung in this case is the past tense verb version of fling. If you're going to have a fling, you have been flung.
I guess so.
And the seesaw guys were literally flinging people around.
They certainly were.
Artie says, it's more like you were flinging them around. See, there you go. But real love is probably something that comes after lots of experiences, don't you think? And Mina says, I bet you're right. Let's go. And as they run off, she says, all these encounters lead up to that one person I'll someday find, right? Which is a way better message than last time.
I agree.
And we get a new song and new ending credits at the end of this episode.
Yes, we do.
La la la, never give up.
Yes.
Gambaruwa.
I have so many feelings that come, no
one can touch her.
I know.
She's just number one. She brings it every single time. Minako does it, and when she does it every time. Although she had some help. So we're not giving away our reviews at all. But we had fun.
Yeah, we did.
It's a weird feeling.
It is.
Nostalgic in a way. And the last two episodes were directed by two people. 140, the Get Some Dresses, Love Those Minis.
Yeah, the
was
fashion.
Directed by Sato Junichi, who also worked on Princess Tutu later after this.
Nice.
And was a big season 1 director. And I think I had mentioned this before, he uses a lot of these like interesting camera angles, a lot of the deadpan humor, a lot of more subtle interactions between characters. And that really uplifted that episode, as well as focusing on fish.
I think so.
And then this one, 141, was directed by Igarashi Takuya, who will be a big director in Sailor Stars. Thank God. And would go on to do Ouran High School.
Good.
It would go on to do Ouran High School Host Club.
Oh, okay. Yes.
And his stuff is like, he's also got a lot of the humor, but often he's got like a more kind of sweeping cinematographic, if that's a word, style to it. So,
I mean, this episode is very humorous, and
it's like an oasis.
Yeah,
we're like crawling on our hands and knees through the anime desert,
right?
And we're like, oh, bye. I don't know what you ask for in the anime desert.
You ask for an energy drink
Fan service
that has like
we don't have any sponsors.
Anime fangirl on it or
we
something.
don't have any sponsors.
No, I don't have it. I'm not
I
saying...
wish we had a sponsor to drop in here, but we do not. But
Pokery Sweat.
Whatever it is you're looking for. Do they advertise on podcasts? What's the Japanese?
Great question.
Calling out to Japanese speakers here. Japanese speakers. Tell us about the podcasting world in Japan.
Yeah,
it's got to be huge
to hear about that. Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think it's the second biggest? And if it's not, what's the second biggest podcast market? Why don't I know?
Whoa.
Canada doesn't. Sorry, Canada, you don't count. Love you, but not.
Do other English-speaking countries
non-North
count?
America? Yeah, Mexico's probably huge too.
Yeah.
Non-North America. What's the biggest market?
Non-North America.
The Germans getting their podcast on. Only it's like a really long word.
Like really long words that just say everything.
Podcasten, Taschen, Krank, Schreiben, Plots.
Plots. You gotta end with a plot.
Sorry, Germans. Sorry, German speakers.
I mean, like, I feel like...
Not plots. Plots. P-L-A-T-Z.
Oh, okay.
Plots.
All right. I feel like... England probably has a lot of podcasts, but maybe that's just me thinking. I mean, do like the Doctor Who specials count? They don't count, right? Because that's like, no. What am I thinking?
About?
I don't know. What am I talking about?
90% of the podcast world is like influencers and like con artists anyway. Patreon.com/SailorNoob. But so I'm just like, that's what I'm thinking. You're like, oh, does Russell T Davies do it? Yes, he does a Doctor Who podcast, but why would that be?
No, that's not.
Sadly, they probably listen to Ben Shapiro too.
Don't say that. That's not what I meant.
It's Joe Rogan in it.
No, I don't like it.
It's a Joe Rogan experience, isn't it?
Gosh.
Terrible. We're going to offend everybody today.
I know. I don't know who is the next biggest podcast market. Well, I can't even.
You can make a guess.
I don't know. India? I don't
maybe.
know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They have their own platform.
Yeah.
I don't know either, but they should rate and review us, first of all. Anyway, nobody does it better.
I mean...
Sometimes I wish somebody could. Why she have to be so good?
I don't know. I don't know. And what I like about this episode too is it's like comedic from beginning to end, and it's not just like chink joke inserted here, chink joke inserted there, which I feel like has been a lot of the comedy this season.
Ray got attacked before.
Yes.
So she's the second to be attacked.
Correct.
If Mako doesn't tear that board in half, we got a problem. And
Yeah,
honestly,
well.
please skip on me. As much as this hurt me, that's really going to hurt me a lot.
Yeah.
Usagi, I expect it. She's the name's on the show.
Yeah.
Everything's got to happen to her. But I hate that I am acclimating to this.
I
Do you know
do
what I mean?
not like it. And I have to tell you, I really did not like I didn't like it when they did it to Ray, but I did not like this at all.
She's 2 for 2 for completely just negating the bad guy's power.
Yeah.
Give me that heart crystal back. That's mine.
That was amazing.
And
I love
then
that episode.
She just Incredible Hulks like out of the bad guy's trap.
Yeah.
So just a part of who she is as a person. Sailor V powers? Or is this a thing where Superman always gets his ass kicked in Justice League, the cartoon, but Batman's like, no, I've got it. I'm fine. Because Bruce Timm loves Batman.
I have thought about this a lot, and I think that she gets a lot of the really good. She gets a lot of really great stories, and some of the other characters, like Mako's my favorite. She's my girl, but some of the Mako episodes, they're not so good. There are a lot of really good Mako episodes, but not all of them. I feel like Minako pretty much every time hits it out of the park.
She does it every time.
She does. And I think that either she is A, fun to write for, or B, everybody's favorite, or I don't know what it is, but I think they like writing her because she can go anywhere.
I tell you what I think it is.
Okay.
She is the most detached. Now, this isn't a Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon, the live action series level where literally the actress is like not in half the episodes.
Oh, right.
Which you can find out about by listening to our now completed Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon review series on our Patreon. But she did come in later, and a lot of the things about her are not established. Plus, she has a more interesting backstory than the girls don't even go to school anymore, but they go to school with each other, right? Mm-hmm. So you got that. Yeah. Actually, they don't. She only goes to school with me.
And Mako.
Oh, that's right. Mako's a transfer.
Yeah.
And so she is sort of separate. And so when you come up with it, you go, well, do we do something on Ami wanting to be a doctor? Or do we do something about, her not studying hard enough or something like that?
Right.
Minako's just like, what do you guys want to do? Flip the board over. The cards that we hide from everybody because they're too silly, get those ones out.
That's true.
And we can just put whatever we want onto Minako and it just works.
Yes, that's absolutely true. And I have to say, this watch through, Minako has like won me over.
All of you relax. This is a matter of inconvenient timing, that's all. Rebooting the podcast was inevitable. This is simply the beginning. I thought I told all of you I want broadcast silence until further.
Ooh, I'm very sorry, Cal. I didn't get that message. Maybe you should have put it on Twitter. I figured since you were relaunching the Just Enough Trope podcast, you might be a little lonely, so I decided to be your co-host.
That's very kind of you. I assume you're our mysterious podcaster. You're most troublesome for a Sailor Moon fan.
Sorry, Cal. Wrong guess. Would you like to go for an all-new show where the hosts haven't really changed?
Who are you, then?
Just a fly in the ointment, Cal. The dye in the hard, the moon in the lighting.
She's talking about the rebooted Just Enough Trope, where we'll dive deep into the pop culture elements that make up your favorite movies, TV shows, comics, and video games. See if she's lying about moonlighting and find out if Bruno is returned.
No, respect yourself.
Miss Mystery Guest, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Unless you want to sing a duet with me.
No, I'm afraid not. But you have me at a loss. You know my name, but who are you? Just another podcast host who saw too many movies as a child? Another orphan of a bankrupt culture who thinks she's John McClane, Corbin Dallas, a crooning Alcapop pitchman?
I was always kind of partial to Seagram's Golden Wine Cooler, actually. It's wet and it's dry!
Do you really think you have a chance with this new show, Ms. Co-host?
Yippee-ki-yay, Mother Cooler.
Just Enough Trope, 40 stories of sheer pop culture deconstruction. Available everywhere you listen to your favorite shows.
Do I sound like I'm ordering a podcast?
Today for Kuro Kuro Miru, or Curiously Looking Around, where we talk about elements of Japanese culture within the episode, we're going to talk about the history of kaiju and Godzilla, the king of monsters. Yes. So basically, we're going to dive into the history of kaiju and Godzilla, the face that launched 1,000 kaiju. Or
citation. Be like the tail that smashed 1,000 ships or something.
I mean, that's probably better. I just wanted to, keep it with face.
Nobody talks about Godzilla's face.
Nobody does. But kind of terrifying. Breathes that atomic heat beam.
Now he's a dinosaur. If you look at him in probably like the 60s, he had like big forward face. He looked like a Muppet.
Yes.
I mean, it's classic Godzilla. What are you going to do?
Right.
He had that big forward sitting eyes.
Yes.
And that like big muzzle. It's
yes.
like, hey, is it okay if I hit the city?
He looks somewhat like a scary derpy monster a little bit.
Yeah.
Doesn't he? Like the eyes. It's the eyes.
Yeah.
But still scary.
Google eyes.
Still scary. Yeah. Oh my God, giant Google eyes. Kaiju literally means strange beasts in Japanese. Today, the term refers to a genre of media as well as the strange giant monsters at the center of it.
Sure.
The giant monsters are usually depicted attacking major cities and battling either the military or other monsters. Although some kaiju are like, this is a good guy, but they'll still fight another kaiju,
Right.
The kaiju genre is a subgenre of tokusatsu entertainment or live-action film or television series that makes heavy use of practical special effects, which I know we've talked about before, especially when we talked about Super Sentai. And so the Japanese term kaiju originally referred to monsters and creatures from ancient Japanese legends. It earlier appeared in the Chinese Classic of Mountains and Seas, a Chinese classic text, and this is a compilation of mythic geography and beasts. So it's like this huge, but like this is a bunch of myths. Here are the creatures, and stuff like that.
Chinese Book of World Legends.
Right. Exactly. Yes, that's a really good way of putting it.
2 giant guys on little motorcycles. We've all seen them.
Wow. So
it's a Guinness Book of World Records joke. I know that girls never got the Guinness Book of World Records from the Scholastic Fair. They got Babysitter's Club books.
Right.
I hate
knew
the gender
about
roles
it.
in our society.
I did get Babysitter's Club books, and you know what? I got Babysitter's Club's. What was it? Like Babysitter's Club's, like the Little Sister books. I can't remember what they're even called.
Right. Yeah.
But it was Karen. And she had there was like the second chapter was like almost the same every single book.
Right, that's the intro chapter.
But it was the second one.
Yeah.
Not the first
No,
one.
you have the inciting incident or whatever it is, and then you have the Jessica and her sister.
Oh God, don't do this to me, Sweet Valley Twins.
The non-slutty one.
Elizabeth, right?
Elizabeth, yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. Whew.
They have a tough time in high school or whatever it is.
I don't remember it as much with Sweet Valley Twins. Maybe if they did it, it was more like they changed it a little bit. I swear to God,
the one Sweet Valley Twins book I read.
Yes.
Had that.
Okay. All right. But I really remember it from, anyways. Her parents are divorced, so she had 2 of everything. That's what I remember.
Whoa.
Yeah, and it was like, wow. Okay.
I like where we're going with this.
Oh, especially with a 2-timing episode.
Mommy, can you and Daddy get a divorce?
Oh my god.
I want 2 of them, please.
After Japan was open to foreign relations in the mid-19th century, the term kaiju came to be used to express concepts from paleontology and legendary creatures from around the world. As an example, in 1908, it was suggested that the extinct Ceratosaurus-like cryptid was alive in Yukon Territory, and this was referred to as a kaiju. However, there are no traditional depictions of kaiju or kaiju-like creatures in Japanese folklore, I'm sorry to say, but rather the origins of kaiju are found in film. So Godzilla is commonly regarded as the first kaiju film, but let's take a look at some of the films that led up to its creation. The 1925 movie, The Lost World, featured many dinosaurs, including a brontosaurus that breaks loose in London and destroys Tower Bridge. The dinosaurs of The Lost World were animated by pioneering stop-motion techniques by Willis H. O'Brien, who would use his stop-motion skills to bring King Kong to life in 1933.
Sure.
And I cannot stress enough how much influence King Kong had on kaiju and Godzilla. But, you know, it was really, really successful. And it's, you know, King Kong was a breakthrough of monster movies. And it was a huge leap towards the kaiju genre. King Kong was a tremendous success in Japan as well. So much so that it inspired Japanese filmmakers to make unofficial King Kong films like Wasei King Kong in 1933, which was a silent comedic short that uses the original King Kong as a backdrop to the story.
I love it.
Yes.
Come across the sea, lawyers.
Exactly. Right? And the other film that I have as an example is the King Kong that appeared in Edo in 1938. So this title, I think, is actually very clever too. I know.
No Tokyo Tower.
Right? It's Edo. There's just wooden buildings around. I don't know what's happening. But the King Kong that appeared in Edo, the King Kong that appeared in Edo. We're not saying this is the same King Kong. So anyways, but it's...
yeah. You're free to go. Not sure that's how trademark works.
Probably not. Yeah, but it's a 2-part silent film that showcases a character called King Kong that is unrecognizable. He looks like Wolfman meets Bigfoot meets Andrew Lloyd Webber's cats. Like, he's got like a lot of like fur like right on the collar, but he's got like these teeth like this, or just like going every which way.
Skimbleshanks, the kaiju cat.
Yeah, right. And so it looks like from the stills I saw, it looks like he is able to get bigger and smaller, because there are scenes where he's like...
Is it maybe just the fact that they didn't do the scaling very well?
No, I don't think so, because he has a tiny person in his hand at one point, but then he's the same size as other people. This is me just spitballing.
This is a power that he has.
Yeah, right. So,
what? Yo, did you see that giant monster? The furry guy's like, oh no, I don't know. He must have been huge.
He's got a kimono on.
I gotta go.
But unfortunately, both of these movies are lost films.
Yeah.
So that's really sad. But RKO Pictures, of course, later licensed the King Kong character to Japanese studio Toho, resulting in the co-productions King Kong vs. Godzilla in 1962 and the King Kong Escapes that came out in 1967. Not the King Kong, just King Kong Escapes. And both were directed by Ishiro Honda, excuse me. It's Honda, not Honda. Like, the car is not Honda. the car should be pronounced Honda, not Honda. It's Honda, not Handa, but we say Honda here.
Yeah.
Anyways, I said his name wrong. It's Honda. And Ishiro Honda will, of course, he is also the director of the first Godzilla film, which we will talk a little bit more about him in a little bit. But another film that influenced the first Godzilla film was The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms.
Oh, yeah.
Which came out in 1953. And it featured a fictional dinosaur animated by Ray Harryhausen, which is released from its frozen hibernating state by an atomic bomb test with the Arctic Circle and terrorizes a lot of New England. And of course, we have to go to New York because it's New York. And this film was released in Japan in 1954 under the title The Atomic Kaiju Appears, which is the first use of the genre's name in a film title.
Okay.
So I think that's really interesting.
This is like the namer here.
Yes. The 1954 film Godzilla, so just a year later, is commonly regarded as the first kaiju film. Kaiju characters are often somewhat metaphorical in nature, like Godzilla. Yeah, I know. Godzilla, for example, serves as a metaphor for nuclear weapons, reflecting the fears of post-war Japan following the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki and the Lucky Dragon 5 incident.
Delicious.
Let me
I love
finish.
the Lucky Dragon.
Yeah, well, you won't after I'm done.
Oh.
But
Wait a minute. Are you telling me that my favorite Chinese restaurant is named after some disaster?
No. But okay, I'm going off on a tangent here, and we'll come back. But before we go further, let's get one thing straight. The King of Monsters name in Japanese is pronounced Gojira.
Right.
It's Gojira. Because, of course, when the film came to the U.S., we're like, what are they saying? It's Godzilla. So, or we'll just make it something, that people can I don't know.
Okay, here's my comment on that.
Yeah.
They fixed it a little bit.
Wow.
In the same way that Japan gave us Mrs. Doubt, we gave them Godzilla.
Well,
but they would have been like Kamijira, a little on the rounded nose below the googly eyes. But I think we liked there's something godlike about him.
I mean, it's a good name. I'm not going to argue with you there, but so
punch it up.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
What do we think about when we think about Godzilla?
We think he's a god who has Zilla, of course.
He's a lizard. He's a Zilla. He's a god.
That's right.
Fix that.
But
I don't want to tell you to do your job. I'm just saying. Let me fix that for you.
Let me punch that up, like you said. Gojira is a portmanteau of the Japanese words gorira, or gorilla, and kujira, or whale. Owing to the fact that in one of the planning stages, Godzilla was described as a cross between a gorilla and a whale due to its size, power, and aquatic origin.
Yeah. Yeah, the original kaiju, whales are big things. Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense, right? And then they're thinking gorilla because of King Kong, maybe? I don't know.
Well, there wasn't... kids love dinosaurs.
Yes.
There were obviously dinosaurs, quote unquote, in Japan, although I'm not sure Japan existed when there was dinosaurs. This would be land that, because it's volcanic and it's relatively recent, right?
Yeah.
And so there was a continental shelf or some other part of a supercontinent that probably dinosaurs were on, and so those bones are now in Japan. But I don't think they had any of the big thunder lizards, over there. They had like smaller apatosaur type creatures. And so when do you think Japanese kids first discovered, the glory that is dinosaurs?
Oh, it had to have been way
And it's
before Godzilla, right?
way too late. I don't know. I mean, like Japanese
I think
paleontology,
so.
how much, I'm sure it existed, but like they didn't have all the resources that the West had. And we're way past that because we already had a dinosaur episode. If we didn't talk about it then,
Well, yeah.
it's too late now.
It was
We
right
are
there.
not going back to
It
that.
was, no. Not that episode for sure. Well, I mean, Godzilla was definitely modeled off after dinosaurs by and large. I mean, dinosaurs
But at that
are cool.
point, like, they've had access to, there's a reason that they made Gojira in the first place, and it's because they saw King Kong, a Western film about a big monster.
Right.
So
Right.
it's cross-pollination.
Right. Tomoyuki Tanaka, a producer for Toho, is credited with coming up with the idea of Godzilla while he was on a plane on the way back to Japan from a failed attempt to renegotiate a Japanese-Indonesian co-produced film.
Huh.
He needed to come up with an idea for his next project, and he was inspired by the beast from 20,000 Fathoms and the Daigo Fukuru Maru incident, or the Lucky Dragon 5, in which a Japanese tuna fish boat, which was the Daigo Fukuru Maru, or the Lucky Dragon 5, with a crew of 23 men, which was contaminated by a nuclear fallout from the United States Castle Bravo thermonuclear weapon test at Bikini Atoll on March 1st, 1954.
Right. It's not about swimsuits.
Nope.
It's about A-bomb testing.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. The boat's catch was contaminated, spurring a panic in Japan about the safety of eating fish, and the crew was sickened, with one crew member dying from radiation sickness less than 7 months after the incident.
Right.
The event led to the emergence of a large and enduring anti-nuclear movement that gathered 30 million signatures on an anti-nuclear petition by August 1955 and eventually became institutionalized as the Japan Council Against Atomic and Hydrogen Bombs.
I mean, they've got nukes now.
This is, this...
Because they need to fight Godzilla.
Yeah. Okay.
We know how this works.
But I mean, I can't emphasize this enough. This is like, this incident reopened, wounds from the atomic bombs
I would
during
imagine
World War II.
it would.
Yeah. And the opening scene of Godzilla with the titular monster destroying a Japanese vessel is a direct reference to the Lucky Dragon 5 incident.
Yeah.
And it had a really strong impact on Japanese viewers.
Yeah, it's basically like ripped from the headlines.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Somebody watched that and like their uncle was on the Lucky Dragon or whatever.
Probably. Yeah, exactly. It's a lot for a monster movie. Tomoyuki Tanaka stated, who is the producer for the film, stated, quote, the theme of, this is the first film, 1954, the theme of the film from the beginning was the terror of the bomb. Mankind had created the bomb, and now nature was going to take revenge on mankind.
History shows again and again how nature abhors the folly of man.
Yeah, exactly.
Go, go, Godzilla.
Oh, exactly. And I think the fear of the atomic bomb can also be seen with Godzilla's signature weapon, the atomic heat beam, also known as the atomic breath. Nuclear energy that is generated inside its body and just spews out of its mouth and as a laser pointer. Yeah. So anyways, Tanaka pitched his idea to executive producer Iwao Mori, and Mori approved the project in mid-April 1954. So I just want us to track how short of a time this film came together. The Lucky Dragon 5 incident was in the beginning of March 1954. Somewhere between then and mid-April.
Some producers like, get me a giant lizard costume right now.
I know. Somewhere between then and mid-April, Tanaka comes up with his idea. Mid-April, he pitches his idea. this is moving very, very fast. And so...
That's how they did it back then.
I know!
It's like that thing. It's like the line in
unreal to me.
Walk Hard, where he's like...
Here's America's new hit song, Walk Hard, recorded just 35 minutes ago by Dewey Cox.
Well, I mean, it seems to not be that much of an exaggeration here. But yeah, the project was approved mid-April after special effects director Eiji Tsuburaya agreed to do the film's effects and confirmed that the film was financially feasible. That's important. Tsuburaya developed a technique to animate the kaiju that became known colloquially as pseudomation. This is a tokusatsu technique where Western monster movies often used stop motion to animate the monsters. Tsuburaya decided to attempt to create suits called quote-unquote creature suits for a human suit actor to wear and act in. And this, of course, was combined with miniature models that are scaled down city sets to create the illusion of a giant creature in a city. Yeah, but like due to the extreme stiffness of the latex and rubber suits, like filming was often done double speed to speed it up, so it looked like the movement was smoother.
Yeah, that's Eiji Tsuburaya's Wikipedia page. That's a fun read. That guy worked on everything.
My God, I know.
And he did like their version of the Invisible Man films. I think he worked on like Throne of Blood. Like a Kurosawa movie or two.
Okay, so him, it might have been him too, but Tanaka, the producer, and Ishiro Honda both worked with Kurosawa a lot. Yeah. And Ishiro Honda, it was like really good friends with Kurosawa, and like in the later part of his of Honda's career, he was basically Kurosawa's right-hand man. Like, he was helping, he was chief assistant director on Stray Dog, and that was an early one in 1949.
Yeah.
But a lot towards the end of the year, especially Kagemusha in 1980, he was second unit director, and Ron, he was chief assistant director, of course, in 1985.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And he helped with more films than that too.
Yeah.
So.
A protege of his did the effects for the 1987 film Princess from the Moon.
Yeah.
Starring Toshiro Mifune, which is about, the tale of the bamboo cutter.
Yes.
Which we should do for Sailor Cinema sometime.
Oh, I'd love to.
Yeah.
This is just like a murderer's row of Japanese film talent here. So, yeah, then Tanaka also requested that Ishiro Honda direct the film. That wasn't the studio's first choice, but he pushed for it, and he got him. So that was cool. And so the three of them noticed that science fiction films, didn't really have a lot of respect from the critics. So they agreed on depicting a monster attack as if it were a real event with a serious tone of a documentary.
Yeah.
And I just think it's, without these three people coming together creatively on this project, like the kaiju genre as we know it, would it exist?
Well,
I don't know. Or would it be just vastly different?
It changed a lot from those sort of strictures that they set up.
Of course, it gets silly and ridiculous.
Watch Destroy All Monsters. That's a really goofy movie.
Yeah, right. I know. You're right. The first one's serious. That doesn't mean they all are. But yeah, apparently on the first day of filming, Honda addressed a crew of 30 to read the script and to leave the project if they did not feel convinced, since he wanted to work only with those who had confidence in him and the film. You don't like it? There's the door.
Listen, there's no God but Godzilla.
That's right.
If you're not on board, jump off right now.
Exactly.
Now zip this guy up into his giant lizard costume.
That weighs 200 pounds, and we had to cut into 2 pieces.
Right.
So look it up. It's amazing. I can't get into all of it, but wow. So Godzilla premiered in Nagoya on October 27th, 1954, and it received a wide release in Japan on November 3rd. I'm not sure why Nagoya was special, but they were for this particular film. It was met with mixed reviews upon release, but it was a box office success. And it won the Japanese Movie Association Award for Best Special Effects. The film earned 180 million yen, making it the 8th highest grossing Japanese film of that year. Wow. But to be fair, Seven Samurai also came out in 1954.
Oh, well.
So,
yeah.
I don't know. I was trying to look up
the reviews were good for that.
Yeah, strangely, Seven Samurai won the Best Film Award that year and not Godzilla. What was up with that? I mean, tough competition. I mean, come on.
That guy in the lizard suit was robbed.
He's mad about it now. He's back to tell you how mad he is.
Yeah, he shows up on stage. He's smashing everything.
All the statues are smashed.
The actor's here.
Oh, no.
That is over $8 million in modern money, basically. Yes. Which, $8.3 million for a country that is still rebuilding from war, has less theaters.
Yeah.
I mean, that's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nevertheless, over 12 million tickets were sold in Japan for Godzilla. The film's success, of course, launched the longest running film franchise. Can you believe it? Mm-hmm. 38 films in total. 33 Japanese films produced and distributed by Toho. 5 American films, 1 produced by TriStar Pictures and 4 produced by Legendary Pictures.
We don't talk about the TriStar one.
No, we don't. And it also gave rise to the kaiju genre and tokusatsu, which are very popular.
Yeah, I mean, arguably no Kamen Rider, no Ultraman, none of that stuff. No Power Rangers. And, going off of that and the idea of tokusatsu becoming a big thing, no Sailor Moon?
Possibly no Sailor Moon. I mean,
Minako
Super
Takeuchi
Sentai.
sits down to make a new thing, and she's like, I like those Super Sentai shows. I like big monsters and stuff.
Right.
That's where she's coming from.
That is exactly where she's coming
Thanks, Godzilla.
Thanks, Godzilla.
Now die. Moon Gorgeous Meditation.
I know. Ichidakimasu with Usagi. What did Usagi eat in this episode? Of course, they're at Fruits Parlor Crown at the beginning. Minako tells Mr. Torajima, that's Tiger's Eye, that she needs something to drink. So he asks her if they should go to a cafe. Then he leaves the park and gets her some juice.
Yeah. I wonder if he could trade bike talk with Mamoru. But Mamoru, he nopes out of this really early.
I know,
never
right?
comes back.
That's true. He's only in the opening scene.
He's out.
He's like, I want no part of this.
Hey, they're not going after my girlfriend.
I've got my future wife and my future daughter literally playing tug of war with me.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
done.
Yeah.
Peace out.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Never comes back.
Just takes his bike out of Tokyo.
An ocean peace tour.
Yeah, right. Well, and of course, in the dating montage where Minako is running back and forth, there's the still of her and Tiger's Eye eating ice cream cones.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah. Villain gauge, where we rate a baddie 1 to 5 dark stars, 5 being the most wicked. The lemurs are Miss Gitanko, the seesaw acrobat of terror, and which is Hawkeye's,
right?
Hawk's Eyes, and Bakanko, Tiger's Eyes. So Gitanko and Bakanko.
Which is which?
So, Gitanko is the blue older one,
okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
And Bakanko is
with the whale tail.
Yeah, is the cuter. is the pink one.
Right.
Let's just go with that.
Yeah.
Because like you said, she's eerily creepy, even
You got
though
two
she's
people in an act, a seesaw act.
Yes.
It makes sense if they're both the same because you're going to balance on a seesaw.
right.
That's where you're wrong.
Right.
You want one to be smaller. You're going to launch that one. The other one's got to be bigger.
That makes a lot of sense when you stop and you think about it.
Yeah, when you stop and think about this crazy murder circus's weird shadow robots.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes a lot of sense.
Of course. Perfect sense. So where do their names come from? Gitanko and Bakanko's names are a reference to a pair of words frequently used by Japanese children to describe a seesaw. Gitan Bakan.
To like those words together? Or?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
These words may be referencing the sound that a seesaw makes as it goes up and down. And I feel like
I kind of figured.
Right.
I kind of figured that's
Yeah.
what it was.
Yeah.
Oh, you Japanese.
I know.
You love the sounds.
I know. But I kind of feel like it sounds like a seesaw. Like you can like hear it in the words.
Tonk, ba-donk.
Gitam bakon. Gitam bakon.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So their design, Gitanko and Bakanko look very similar, as we said before. I kind of think they look like fairies or sprites without wings.
Yeah.
They kind of remind me of like Tinkerbell, except like evil. But they don't have like the cute little ponytail like the Disney Tinkerbell has. But
there's something, I'm not going to be able to get it.
There's something elfish
Through the course of this show. But yeah, there is something about them. Again, they have diamonds.
Yes,
on
they
them.
do.
I noticed that now because
Yes.
you pointed that out.
Yes.
And they have they got pointed ears.
Yep.
They look kind of like there's a Thierry Mugler design that shows up in his famous stage show or several of his shows, and the George Michael video. That's like supposed to be like a robot lady, and they look kind of like that. Where she's got like the metal headpiece kind of. She doesn't have pointed ears, but she's got the ears.
She's got pointed ears for some reason.
I think that she's got a sort of bustle kind of, thing that goes around her waist like that. And so that's kind of what and they're shiny. So they're like plastic or they're dolls or something.
Huh. Okay. I guess I didn't notice that they were shiny, but that makes sense. Yeah. And of course, Gitanko is like all navy, and Bakanko is all pink. But basically, Gitanko has blue hair. She's a very strong widow's peak, and the swoopy thing.
So that's their hair.
Yeah, I think so.
It's like helmet hair.
That's the way I looked at it, because at the widow peak, there's like this little kind of swoopy thing that looks like it's just like this curl that's just like, here we go.
Yeah, it's weird.
I don't know. But maybe it's just the robot head and it's like, this is hair. I don't know.
It's got a little spit curl. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a
Clark
spit curl.
Kent rules are in effect.
Right. There you go. Spit curl. Thank you. And has a very cartoony looking, like, would you call it like a cowlick? I don't even know. Like, it's like that like thing with a cartoon.
Like a swirl, yeah.
A swirl, yeah. And she has skin as white as snow, pointy ears, rosy cheeks, and is wearing red lipstick. Her navy blue leotard, which apparently has a thong.
I think they both, it's just the, speaking of Superman, it's like the trunks part of their costume. It's like a circus thing that goes over their tights.
Okay.
But instead of like covering their butt fully, hers just goes right up the middle.
That's weird. That's weird.
Yeah, well, women first.
Yeah, right. I know. Always.
Monsters second.
Her navy blue leotard has giant, extremely puffy sleeves, and of course a giant red diamond on the bodice. And her skirt, I feel like it kind of looks like two giant flower petals.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
And her tights and long sleeve shirt are aqua, and she's wearing navy blue gloves that puff out around her wrists and navy blue teardrop earrings. And Bakanko is younger and smaller than Gitanko and has a very similar look, except her hair and outfit are pink. And she has long sleeves and tights that are yellow instead of aqua. on the
Sugar
rating.
Plum Fairy, Sugar Plum Fairy.
Yes, that's kind of what I'm thinking. You know, kind of scary sugar plum fairies.
Yeah. Sugar Plum Scary.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. What's even better? So I like their overall designs. Gitanko, I love that she like throws a seesaw at the Senshi, which is somehow like I don't know how, but it's somehow a really badass move.
Yeah.
It's like, bam, what do you got?
Yeah, right.
I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa.
It doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
No.
It has to dig under 5 girls, I guess.
Right.
Or 6, but it does.
I know.
Yeah, it's a good move.
It is a good move. And then, you know, Gitanko and Bakanko are in sync with each other, and they launch the Senshi into the air with a seesaw, and then Gitanko launches Bakanko at them once they're in the air. And, I mean, it's great, right? Like, they've got this whole little routine going on. What I thought was interesting is, like, once the Senshi are on the ground, Gitanko and Bakanko are just seesawing with each other nicely.
They're just warming up.
I'm like, why aren't we doing more tricks here, gals? Let's see some fancy stuff. What do you got?
Yeah.
Show me some more tricks.
It is just a seesaw. Like, I don't know what they're going to do. Unless they do some Cirque du Soleil stuff. They're, you know.
You can do anything.
Doing the bend over, backward, yoga stuff. And
right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, the sky is
a lot of
limit.
vamping.
Yeah, I know.
A lot of vamping.
I know, but like I was a little disappointed by that. So I like them, but I just wanted to see them do more. So do more with them. So I'm disappointed by that. So I'm gonna give them 3 out of 5 dark stars.
Yeah, that's fair. I think I'm gonna give them a 3 as well. And it's tough. I mean, as you said, we just don't get a lot from them. I mean, they come in strong.
They do. Very strong.
As unnerving as it is, it's a solid design. And it's great because normally you've got a Yoma. Some of these Yoma who come in and they got stuff hanging off of them. And it's just really kind of seems slapdash.
Yeah.
Maybe if there was another one, it would be, now it's a trend. Do you know what I mean? Maybe it would make more sense, right?
Yes.
And so if I just looked at one of them on their own, maybe it's not enough. But you got another one that's a palette swap and is smaller. And it's like, oh, there's some variation. It's like, they should have more team Yomas, or maybe not. I don't know.
I mean, it'd be fun.
But I think that's the strongest part of them. Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, the seesaw bit is nice. Getting down at the bottom of that circus barrel.
What else we got
Not
in
a lot
here?
of monkeys left in here. But yeah, I think that all that's good, but we just don't get, they don't really have personality. We don't get to see them do all that much, and they are completely wiped out. Fittingly, they just job it immediately to Minako when she's got her ire up. So
yes,
it's only a 3.
I agree. Take a bow, or our rating on how our villains left the stage of life. They both have their hands out and say stage out. It is the same thing we have been seeing since the beginning of Supers.
Yeah.
And there's 2 of them.
There's 2 of them.
So I'm like doubly disappointed.
Oh, okay.
It's like you had twice as potential to do something different. So I'm giving this one a 1 out of 5.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I can't go that low. It was just something different about having, 2 people positioned, not super creatively, but they're there, 2 voices. This one was okay. Maybe I was just in a good mood, but I'd give it a 3.
Okay.
It was another this is baseline. If the normal thing when we first saw it, and unfortunately, it'd be nice to be able to rate everything objectively.
Yeah.
But we don't see everything objectively. We're seeing it in sequence.
That's right.
So something that worked in the first episode doesn't work now.
Yes.
But if that first thing was like, oh, it's 4, that's interesting. 3, I don't know, 2. Okay, it's a 1. This takes it back to 3.
Okay.
If there's only one of them,
All
it'd be a 1. But 1 plus 1 is 3.
Fair enough.
I am not a mathematician.
All right. So our rating. It's hard for me even to talk about all the things that I like in this episode because there's a lot of them. I love the entire scene at Fruits Parlor Crown at the beginning, especially when Minako waltzes in and the way she greets everyone. And I love it when Minako says beauty is such a sin. It's just so great. I love how the music and the animation, the way Minako is talking, make it sound like she's going to transform when she says to Artemis, "I, Minako, I know, aka the goddess of love." It's
Right.
that whole scene. I love when Minako realizes that she accidentally set up 2 dates on the same day. And just like how the Senshi are watching her with their heads through the bushes. It's great. And I enjoyed watching Minako run around between the two of them. That entire thing was just really well done, I feel like. But would have been great if there had been more montage.
More Doubtfiring.
Yes, exactly.
Doubtfiring on all cylinders. Don't give the titles away.
Ooh.
Don't give it away.
That's really good. I like that.
Yeah, that would have been a good one.
I love how Hokusai jumps up at the end of the film and yells, "No!" Oh, it's so great. And I love that Minako is able to break out of her restraints on her own, and well, sorry. I love Venus's attack with her wrathful crescent beam barrage. And just like Tiger and Hawk are like, what is going on? What happened? And this is just another amazing Minako jam, and it's a return to fun. So I just have to give this one a 5 out of 5 roses. Because it's awesome.
Here's some things that I like about this episode. I like that it's a Minako jam.
Yes.
Obviously. I like that the rules just don't seem to apply to her for some reason.
Yep.
And I think she's the Tom Bombadil of this universe. That's right. I said it. Every mythology or mythos needs something like that. I like the fact that, like, speaking of barrels that we're getting to the bottom of, here's a sitcom trope. What's the 2 dates at once?
I know.
But, taking those and seeing them in this world, in anime, and also just, applied to our Sailor characters is great. I love all the girls. They need hobbies. What's going on? They all show up and they stick their butts out of a hedge, just spying on this whole thing.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, like, there should have been more Doubtfiring. Maybe it's just too much. Maybe also we don't want to completely bury Minako as a character, although she ostensibly learns nothing from this. I'm not sure what she's really learned.
I know, like at the end.
Maybe she'll be more careful, but literally when two guys they don't have whips and chains just yet, but they're basically just saying, which one of us do you like? Like, they're not being very nice. They're not being very romantic or dato-y. And she's like, look, I'll tell you the truth. I like you both. Like, she's just 100% her.
Yes.
And that's what you got to love about her. This is 100% a 5. I am that co-host, and I'm making this a 5. It has to be.
Yes.
No one can touch her. She does it, and she does it every time.
She does. My English title is Sinful Beauty Crisis Love.
Nice. But it's not a sin.
That's true.
Non-sinful beauty.
Non-sinful beauty crisis love.
You have to ask yourself, like this episode does, can a girl in the big city make it work with 2 circus murderers? It's fraught. Our girl doesn't look good. But even when she doesn't look good, she looks fantastic. And honestly, still a better love story than Twilight.
Next episode, we are talking about episode number 142. Himitsu no Yakata, Ai no Menu o Anata ni in Japanese. The Secret Mansion, A Menu of Love for You, the English translation, and the English title, Recipe for Danger.
Ooh, very generic.
Yes.
But I guess solid in that way.
Yes.
That solid as Sears, they say. Sears, not flashy, solid. Right?
Lacquer.
Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, you know what? That's true. Bob Seger is the Sears of musicians, but he gets it done, doesn't he?
Right.
We get it done over on Patreon. We're talking about anime on our Animenification feature, which we've started up again. And we just covered Penguin Drum, which was a pick from Annie, one of our Princess patrons. Very interesting anime. Fascinating.
Yeah.
And a lot of layers there, I think.
I think so, too.
I like talking about that. And we're going to continue talking about Animenification episodes as we go forward. But we're also starting a new feature. It comes out this Monday on our Patreon. It's called Beyond Good and Eva, where we talk about not only the series Neon Genesis Evangelion and what happens in it, but also the philosophical and the psychological elements of the series. A lot of that going on. Sure, kids and big robots, for sure.
Yes.
Angels and monsters, absolutely. Fan service, some. But also a lot of deep things happening there if you're interested in something like a concordance or some annotations for that very complicated series.
Yes.
We're doing the whole thing, the movies and the rebuild movies. It all starts this Monday. So get in the Patreon now, Shinji, and join us on our journey.
Well, that's our show for this week, and the Name of the Moon will be punishing you next week with another episode of Sailor Noob.
Gambaruwa.